r/AskReddit. How do you think humans will become extinct? Knowing us, it'll be the hard way. Extinction. By humans. For humans. A highly contagious virus designed to make its host infertile without presenting any other symptoms escapes from a lab and infects everyone. Under no circumstances should we go to P4C 970. It's the way I wanna go. As a long-term optimist, my favorite is evolution. As we expand out into space through the eons, eventually we diverge and evolve into new species, and what we consider human is extinct. You can also view AI as a version of evolution and count that as well. But I personally think we can coexist with an AI we create. That sounds the most likely to me. Every other post here suggests something that would kill most people, but certainly not all. The only other thing I would imagine is a double whammy of sorts, like a global pandemic of a very deadly virus during climate change runaway and then hit by an asteroid. XAE Ligature A12 will throw a tantrum at age 10 and use the secret Tesla military base on Mars to nuke the duck out of all of us. Such a unique name. He must be the only person in the world with it. Terminal stupidity. The way things are going the last couple of years, this seems the only right answer. Social media is mostly to blame. Terminal stupidity is king there. You know what they say, the empty can rattles the most. And Jesus Christ, is it loud? By irreparably damaging our biosphere. Takes a biosphere to evolve and sustain a complex living organism like us. Destroy that and we probably won't last long. The Rapa Nui of Easter Island used to have a thriving civilization. They survived contact with the Europeans, and even had a golden age of sorts, where life was bountiful enough to devote resources to monument building. However, they engaged in rapid deforestation and careless exhaustion of resources with no plan or even awareness of the consequences. Until too late, they wiped the island clean of trees, which caused erosion and loss of arable soil, loss of food, and eventually societal conflict and civil war. The remnants of their shattered society were easy pickings for slavers from Peru who almost completely exterminated them. What happened in Easter Island is going to happen to us. As big as it is, the Earth isn't an unlimited wellspring of resources and we are rapidly reaching the point of no return. Meteor or a virus? I don't know why this has so few upvotes, but this could actually be so damn true. Not everything ends in a cool or stupid way. An asteroid composed of dinosaurs will crash into the Earth and they'll eat us all. It's gotta be war. We literally have a weapon that can wipe out an entire country. Now multiply the amount of that weapon by thousands. One day countries and leaders will face a breaking point through clashing ideologies, and before we even knew it, we already ducked ourselves over. The breaking point will be climate related. One of too many refugees. People vote extremists, lunatics with loose trigger fingers. They start a war to support the economy. Some battle over a critical water source escalates. Climate protesters turn violent. Civil war ensues. Foreign power steps in. It escalates. I think we will make a mistake. Something like, we send the majority of the population to another planet, but they crash. Or, we couldn't get to another planet in time. Humans make mistakes. It's about time we make a big one. We'll probably damage the environment to a point where we can no longer live in it. In the last 100 years we've been burning through Earth's resources like we have another planet to move to. This. Humans will duck up, but the Earth will keep going and stabilize by itself, no problem. We're just an inconvenience to nature. Two likely options. Climate collapse might not be the direct cause of human extinction, but it would certainly prompt a lot of candidates for human extinction. Nations going to war with each other as their land goes underwater or becomes otherwise uninhabitable. Wars over the last remaining resources. Increased temperatures across the globe result in more heat-struck deaths and tropical diseases spreading across the globe. In that scenario, either nuclear war or uncontrolled disease kills us all. Massive collapse of technology. A coronal mass ejection cripples all technology on Earth, life support systems, planes, power plants. Anything more complex than a radio is rendered unusable. Within hours, millions are dead. As supply chains collapse across the globe, Famine becomes a part of life for many. With today's level of dependence on technology, it would knock us back to being an agrarian species. And the more technologically advanced we get, the worse a coronal mass ejection becomes. Imagine a time when most humans have complex cybernetics. A coronal mass ejection would literally kill billions as their body's electronic components failed. It would deal us a blow we could never recover from. Honestly, a massive asteroid, I'm talking miles in diameter. I mean, nuclear war is devastating, but just think about the colossal amount of energy released during such an impact event. Billions of nukes. The worst part? There's pretty much nothing we can do about it with our current technology. Sometimes I fall asleep with a window open, triple glazing, and when I'm woken up by a plane it's so loud. I live near an airport. I assume it's an incoming asteroid and the world is seconds from extinction. I usually have time to quickly repent of my sins and just brace myself before I realize stupidity, or I should say the rapidly increasing gulf between common and academic knowledge. Science is moving faster than the average person's intellect because we have coddled being a ducking moron for decades now. Look at how COVID has been handled in the scientific versus common communities, and imagine that level of dissonance in an even greater threat. We run out of toilet paper. Rape spiders. I was gonna go with giant ants, but rape spider trumps that. Touché. What do we say to the god of death? Not today. Well then let's find out. To throw a different fruit than what's here, I'm going to say humans will biologically die out. I think that we could maybe reach a point where sentimental value of being a human is slowly gone in favor of something else, like being a machine. Uploading consciousness. We may be our real selves but digital, or just a program with personality effectively killing the host and stealing their memory, while retaining their information. Soulless. Either way, it won't be human. Honestly, I think either we'll prime it in our lifetimes or it won't happen for eons, if ever. The big problem is that we're at risk of something on the scale of the Bronze Age collapse all over again, where several advanced civilizations crumbled in less than a century due to collapsing trade networks. We don't even really know what caused it beyond raiders from the sea. We've already consumed all readily available hydrocarbons, which is how we industrialized the first time around. We're close to having renewable tech advanced enough to take over, but we're not quite there, which means if international trade implodes before we get there, we'd have a much harder time bootstrapping ourselves back up the tech tree, to the point that it might be impossible for widespread civilization to take hold once more. Without widespread civilization and the advanced sciences and job specialization that come with it, we're much more sensitive to extinction events due to limited ability to mitigate them. And at that point, we're just as fragile as any other species. If we crack renewables first, however, I think human civilization would rebound even from World War III, because the main limiting factor in a civilization is access to energy. The only thing I can think of that would truly wipe us out in short order is if we accidentally create a paperclip maximizer that chooses to exterminate us because we'd look nicer as paperclips. 6G. Already in the progress of that, so I don't think the need for any imagination here, but if I have to say, moronic terrain renovation and the earth shot us in the butt. Humans will cause human extinction. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.